Gladstone, located approximately 3 hours from Adelaide in South Australia, is at the southern end of the lower Flinders Ranges. Gladstone boasts the largest inland grain storage facility in the southern hemisphere, storing wheat, barley, peas, fava beans and fiesta beans, a farming town in the wheat belt on the edge of the Outback. Gladstone also served as a railway hub, supporting the grain with a line to Port Pirie for exporting worldwide. The line is still used today, but mainly for the movement of lead and zinc from Broken Hill to Port Pirie. Train spotters come to Gladstone to see one of the wonders of the railway world. It is here that 3 railway gauges, the narrow, the standard and the broad gauge, all meet. At the railway yards it is possible to see the 3 gauges beside each other. The famous Australian poet C.J. Dennis lived in the town as a child. His father ran the local hotel and Dennis attended the local primary school. Gladstone is also the home of Trend Drinks, a local soft drink manufacturer with a history dating back to 1876. The town of Gladstone has about 700 people living in it and boasts 2 pubs, a post office, a kindergarten, a state primary school, a state high school, as well as a private Catholic secondary school and a few shops, as well as the former Gladstone Gaol, now a bed and breakfast and living museum. The town also had a drive-in theatre.
Built in 1881 and opened up in July, and then in the August the first females arrived. You're standing in the chapel, which was multi-denominational, so they used to rotate on basis for having services. Some people have had experiences in here, but none that have actually relayed the information to me, so I can't help you as far as that goes. Continuing on down, there was another warders room where they stayed overnight. It has a slit window so that you could look straight down ceiling. Now that was actually the last of the wings that were built, and you can see where the extension is made for it. Some groups have held seances in that next section past the next gate, because that is virtually the darkest place in the jail. Across the hallway, you've seen the twin rooms where the warders used to stay overnight if they had night shift. Dentist office was next door, and that used to freak some people out. I haven't actually had a look in there to see whether the equipment is still present. Moving further down, as I said, they are some of the oldest cells. Then the new section was built in the 60s. I had experiences over in House 1, which you can't go into because even back when I was running the jail, had a lot of white ant problems. Late at night after I'd done a night tour, I could walk down the corridor and it would feel like there was a hand in the middle of my back, just guiding me down the hallway. And I'd sensed there was somebody nearby whilst I'm doing my late night paperwork. So I got into the habit of talking aloud and saying what my plans were for the place. And nobody seemed to reject, so I just continued on. Pity they weren't advising me on financial management, otherwise I'd still be here. When you come back up and through into the circle, you have the tower stairs. Some people have had manifestations in the first flight of stairs, nothing any higher up. They have recorded that there were temperature drops in that section. But considering how thick the walls are, I'm not surprised. In B-wing, you have the showers down at the far end. They were divided, so when we had people staying overnight, you could have males and females. After a while we got into the habit of just sitting them down there and the ladies had the showers out behind the cafe. Some people who said that they didn't believe in ghosts once went into that shower group during the day and they beat a hasty retreat. They just felt so bad in it. She was actually feeling physically sick. So whether you get anything in there would be very interesting. Going down the stairs out to the exercise yard, and if you go around the corner of the building, looking back over this wing, some people have photographed orbs above the building. I thought it was a full moon when I first looked at the camera, but there wasn't any moon that night. And as you turn around and look at the exercise yard, you'll find that there are different bits and pieces, glass on top of walls and what have you, They were all put in place for a movie that was made here called Stir, starring Brian Brown. And I've got a copy of it somewhere at home. I've never been able to watch it because it's too violent for me. D-wing is down the pathway this side of the big kitchen. Now that was classified as the Aboriginal wing, but we did find out that the Aboriginals were actually integrated into the entire community. But as you look down the corridor, you'll see that the window has been modified, and when you look, if you go around behind the walls, between the two walls, you'll see that there used to be a doorway there. And that led to the story that it was an Aboriginal wing and they were brought in separately. But no, that wasn't true. It must have been modified at some stage so that they could get foodstuffs into the kitchen much easier, instead of having to bring it through like we always had to. Trolleys and shopping trolleys and by hand. In the kitchen, I had a paranormal group. A woman was sitting just inside the main door. All the other doors for access to it were shut. Now, she said, I said, have you seen anybody? She said, yeah, I saw so-and-so go through. And I said, how long ago? She said, just before you got here. I said, which way did she come from? She said, through that doorway there, went into the dining room and went through to the alcoholics wing. And I said, she couldn't have. Why not? I said, she's in A wing now. I passed her heading down that way. So I said, describe who you saw. Long dark hair pulled back tightly into a bun with a long, tight-waisted dress, not quite leg of mutton sleeves. And we looked at each other and she says, good, I got one. So she was quite happy that she'd seen a manifestation, even if she thought it was one of her compatriots. The alcoholics wing, I haven't actually sensed anything in there, others have. If you do go in there, you have to be very careful because there's a strip of concrete down the middle, stated that not onto the timber floor. But I took a school group in there one day, and as I was getting them to leave, I looked over onto the timber, and you could see, because I didn't sweep in it, a lot of dust. But there were concentric circles with a little mound of dust in the middle of it. I'd never seen anything like that before. So I just said, yeah, that ghost had a little chick who was going round and round. Nobody's ever said anything about the old laundry, which is through the female exercise yard. But if the door is suitable for going through there, we'll go and have a look in there as well. Is that supposed to be on your list? It is? Okay.
The whole thing is.
Okay. Tinsmith's shop, which is that steel building there, that was built in the 60s as well. There's a stage at the far end, so we had some very interesting parties in there, particularly at Halloween. No manifestation. There'd probably be strange noises because this place is rife with pigeons. So if you hear any billing and cooing, they talk to each other quite regularly in the ceiling here in C Wing. It sounds like a conversation going on. There was another story going that there was an upper story, and those who were debtors and fine defaulters were housed upstairs. Downstairs, their families would stay. Now, we did wonder about it. Somebody debunked the story, but when my now ex-husband went up there, he found a spot to get into the ceiling, and he found that the walls went all the way up to the roof line. So, and we have seen some photos where the jail was supposed to be double-storey, but it never actually happened. So I don't know whether the plans, the original plans for the jail are still about. We used to have them hanging on the walls in the circle, which showed that it was proposed these two wings would be double-storey, but it didn't happen. If you have a look out in the corridors, you'll see that here and in the other two wings, where the timber is, it was meant to be open with balustrades going around it, pretty much what you see in the Adelaide jail as well. I've done one tour there and thoroughly enjoyed it. Okay, I think I've covered most of the areas. Does anybody have any questions?
Is there anything particular happened in this particular room at all?
Not to my knowledge. You get the usual person who might say, oh no, I can't walk in there. because, you know, they, like I do in cell 1, every now and then you just feel a wall of cold. Some people just sense it better than others. But for me, I became used to it. I mean, I actually lived in the jail for 3 months myself until I moved into one of the houses outside the walls. But I never had a problem, I never felt threatened. So they became part of my extended family.
You were a volunteer here before?
No, I ran it.
Oh, you ran it?
Yeah.
Oh, inside information.
For the first year I was on my own because the woman who was going to help me ticked off. And then I had 2 blokes who were former prisoners elsewhere help me, and when we used to dress up, because I dress up as the warder, and they'd help out as well, so it was a big help. Now, most of the people who have sensed anything have thought it's been in this wing. So between number 1, where I've sensed a warder and I got woken up, a woman in 7, and the birthing room, all sorts of things. Peter Gers from the ABC stayed in that room, and he got woken up by a baby crying and some woman passing by the door.
A block?
A wing,
Women's.
yes. It was female wing from 1881 through until about 1908, and then after that it converted to being an all-male jail. The first females actually turned up a week after the males, and they got into trouble because they arrived drunk. They came up by dray via the Clear Valley. This was another medical room. I'm glad to see he's still got the bed set up, but we now have staff in there as well. So if you have a look back on that angle, it makes it quite interesting. If I ever had any recalcitrant teenagers, I'd threaten them with being in there for the night. All these various bits of equipment, some was left here before, it was all stored under our boot shop, and other things were given to the jail to help build up the styles of things that we used here. And also, with the tinted shop in the 60s, the prisoners actually used to make metal plates, cups, bowls, and then they went into bigger manufacturing of doing shovels and rubbish bins. So there are a number of places around town that still have the rubbish bins that were made here at the jail. I've only ever seen one, along with one bucket as well.
Come on, Benny boy. Oh, damn it. You get any breathing here? No.
The door won't stay open by itself.
Oh, that's right.
You'll see that there's a section over there with the curved up walls and you can't see into it. Yeah. Now, there is a toilet block in the far end of it at the moment. According to the original plans and what have you, which was built along the lines of English jails, actually it's very similar along the lines to the Redwoods Jail at Burra from what I can understand.
Yeah, they actually do have that.
Right, okay. There were no hangings here, but because that was the norm for English jails, that is the only place where you could have a gallows. Now, can you just see on this side of the wall, just this side of that breather pipe, and another one about 6 feet to the left of it, darker blocks. On the inside of it, there are actually some sections where you can see where posts have been taken out. So we figured that'd be the most likely spot for hangings if they ever did have any. Tall ones, watch your head, watch your feet. When I first came to the area here in 1990, we came to the jail. There used to be a raised box where the guard would sit, and this was the workshop. We still had all the equipment there, the lathes, metal cutting machines, etc., which were bolted to the floor, so you can see where the bolts used to be. Then once that was taken out, they changed it into volleyball courts and badminton, etc. They used to have competitions outside of the jail, and the prisoners would travel to other towns to play basketball, badminton, volleyball, etc. And they were also the first CFS unit in the area. So that's how medium security they were. Now, all of this slate in the jail is actually from Mintaro in the Clear Valley, and it's about 6 inches thick, and it was brought up on drays. Now, when you consider back in the 1880s, it was just a dirt road. For it to be brought up here, rain, hail or shine, imagine getting bogged down with it. But there's an awful lot of slate. Some is perishing, yet some of it is holding up so well. It's a bugger to wash though. As you can see, there are the original walkways on either side, and then you have the skylights. This would have all been taken out, and a set of stairs would have been in. Next time you go down Seawing, you have a look up at the ceiling, you'll find that it actually tapers at this closest end to show where the stairs would have been, whereas this is constant all the way through. Now, as I explained to a few others when we were up on the mezzanine floor, where the manhole cover is just up there, you have a look up in the ceiling, and where the conduit comes through that wall, on this side, you can see where the original archway with the keystones, etc., is in this side. It hasn't been painted over. So everything was in place for when and if they put the second story on. Cells are pretty much the same through here. No stories about any of the individual cells until you get down to the shower block. Apparently that last cell on the right-hand side was the original bathroom. You'll see that it's got a raised concrete floor because there used to be a bathroom there, and that was detrimental to the slate. So the floor was originally later replaced, and then the shower was put in here, and they've taken the division out. We've reverted back. Used to have a partition went through the middle and out that way, so a door on either side, so you could have males and females.
So these showers still work?
As far as I know, they do. They did when I left.
He's been clean.
Is this our one?
Yeah.
This one is a much larger room. We think this might have been kept aside for sort of like a reading room, or somewhere where the prisoners could write their letters home and what have you. I mean, it's got 6 things. They might have had 6 prisoners in there at stage. This one was listed as solitary confinement. I don't know why there's a candle there. But it seems a lot smaller than the others. See what you think.
Where's the Aboriginal room?
That's generally listed as that one just there. We ended up getting some information that said that the Aborigines were always integrated into the prison community.
Ah, right.
So yeah, no, it's just multiples of people. Because actually, when you have a look at the outside of this block, you'll see there's a section. That was actually an open area. There was an small enclosed exercise yard in there. Those of you that went out through that gate into the middle section and looked back this way, you can see that there was a doorway there at the end. You'll see that the wall went like that, and where the gable is, it's sort of filled in with red brick. It's totally different to the rest of it, and then it's been roofed. So that section there was actually open, and I think they actually had an open urinal in there as well.
This is more like.
But I think this is the cell where I used to get everybody in there. They weren't, no touching or anything. We closed the door and be as dark as anything. Now I can feel a breeze, but my arms are warm, as though
Yeah, I'm still getting
somebody's
just sort of
doing that up and down my
just
arms.
dropped off
Hairs aren't raising.
off 0.5.
I can't guarantee me an electrics. I fritz a watch in 2 hours.
That was me.
No, it's just steady on 1.5.
0.1.
It's stronger over here. The flickers up this way. Yeah, it's stronger there.
Dead.
Of course they are, they're ghosts.
Oh, oh you're a funny bugger, aren't
Locking us in.
This is the birthing room, by the way, at the Gladstone Gaol. I'm going to do an EVP session, see if we can make contact with anyone. Right. Now, if there's anyone here in this room, this little device here is a voice recorder. So you can answer my questions and this little device will pick up your voice. Is there anyone here? What is your name? How old are you? Okay, thank you very much.
This is John, Ben and Courtney. Is there anyone here with us? Can you tell us your name? Did you serve time in here?
Did you die in this jail?
Can you walk over to that bed and touch the device on there?
Can you come and say something until one of these recorders in our hands? Make a noise in the building for us?
Just noting, it felt like something just tugged on my camera. Pulled on this cord actually, to be more specific.
It's going to be my K2 meter.
Is that you? Are you breathing heavy? I was going to say, I thought I could hear breathing, I was like, it would have been good if it wasn't you.
I heard something creaking down here. What room was that? Under all over. Closing the door. Is there anyone in here who wishes to talk to us? What's your name? Are you a male or a female?
EVP session 2, John and Eidolon Gladstone Gaol. It's approximately 11:45 p.m. Millimetre currently reading 1 milligauss.
Yep.
What's your name? 0. How long were you here? Were you married? Were you a farmer? Do you like it when people come here to talk to you? Something that's not a bit sweet again? Is that you doing that around the place? Is that you that's making that smell around the place? 0.
What's your name? Are you... Why are you here? Or are you just passing through?
Is that your stomach? Because it wasn't mine.
Not my stomach. Why are you here? Hopefully that'll come up on the video. As I heard.
Any mosquitoes too? There are mosquitoes in here. How long were you housed here for?
Can you make a noise for us?
Base temp.
Yep, and that is 21.9.
EMF recording A block, cell 16. I've lost the time again.
11:56.
There we go.
22.0.
Is anyone in here with us?
Is anyone here with us? We just heard a noise. Right, is anyone here with us?
you are, make yourself known. Can you knock on the door?
Come out and talk to us.
What were you in here for?
With the resignation of Capello. $79. 84. When did something happen for you? That was one of them.
Okay, if you're in here, you're willing to speak with us, we can hear you through this box here.
Measuring.
Speak as loud as you can. Do you understand? We'll make these right.
What do you have to say?
Okay? We'll make it right. What's your name? Say it again, what's your name?
I don't know what.
Were you a prisoner here?
So we're about to run an experiment to see if we can stir up any noise. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your new warden. So, if lights out. We don't want to hear any more noise from the prisoners for the night. Your new jailer for the night is David. So David's going to take control of this cell block now. Don't go to sleep, people. No noise, please. Any noise, we're in the hole. We want complete silence. cell too, because you can see the light shining on the floor. The camera's pointing that way. The one with the door open, the one with the door open, the last door open.
Through hand stuff in there, of course.
You have freedom. You're all pardoned. So we're running experiment number 2 of me being the warden and David being the screw in the B section. So, get started. Alright, maggots, the warden's on block. We want no noise out here tonight. Quiet down.
What's your name? Are you... What's your name? Are you... What's your name? Are you...
Is that your stomach? Because it wasn't mine.
Not my stomach.
Is that your stomach? Because it wasn't mine.
Not my stomach.
Can you make a noise for us? Can you make a noise for us?